Hi, welcome to Box on the Box Rock and Celluloid, Botbrack for short. I'm Edward Box, so getting fairly hot off the press. I've just got back from Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1, or Mission Impossible 7, MI7 for simplicity. I don't think I'll do any spoiler sort of section on this. We'll just keep it pretty short and sweet. If you enjoyed Mission Impossible Fallout, you're surely going to enjoy this. It's really good. It's pretty mental. In a lot of ways, it's probably one of the most mental Mission Impossible films. The plot is pretty crazy. The MacGuffin is cool, but what I would say is it's quite hard to understand some of the plot. I did find it hard to follow at times, but sometimes that's the case with Mission Impossible films. How's that this? How's that the other, so to speak. Cast is really good. Ving Rhames gets a bit more to do. Simon Pegg's his usual excellent self, and Ving is excellent. Vanessa Kirby's back. She's really good. I quite liked Haley Atwell's performance. My wife wasn't as keen, but I think she was canny. Rebecca Ferguson's excellent as always. She's back. Henry Chernzy is back as Kittredge, so you'll know him from the original Mission Impossible. And this kind of ties in a little bit of reference with some of the action in the film in a way, because it's a bit of a reference to the first Mission Impossible. Like the last Mission Impossible, it doesn't, and I think, just the last Mission Impossible, it doesn't start with a big bang. It has got a really good opening sequence, but it hasn't got a big action sequence. I don't think that's really anything saying that. And like Fallout, the action builds to a big climax at the end, and I think the films are better for that. Tech credits are great, cinematography is brilliant, there's some great location work in Venice, Rome, it's really well shot. Editing's really good. Kristen McQuarrie and Tom Cruise really got it down to fine art, how they want to shoot the action, how they get a good mixture of what I call physical action and CGI action. So the Mission Impossible films have always had bits of CGI action. The first one did, if you remember, that's got a big train sequence, and so this film, it's got elements like that, but it's really well done, and it's got great chase sequences, lots of bits of Tom Cruise running, and no one runs quite like Tom Cruise on screen. He's kind of perfected his run, and it's almost become, they've kind of realised that's a kind of trademark thing. It's almost like a little kind of, almost, not a joke, but it's something the audience is kind of in on now, when you see those shots of him running. I really enjoyed this, just checking the length of it. It is long, but it's 163 minutes. These films are getting longer, aren't they? These kind of action films, Bond films, Mission Impossible films. So the other thing I should say about this film, this is probably most Bondish in a way, this one. There's quite a few sort of elements to it where you can imagine the sequence being a Bond film, or kind of some of the references to Bond films. And I wonder if McQuarrie has kind of put that in there, a bit of a love of Bond. Cruise is excellent, he always is. I would say I prefer Fallout. I felt the thing with this is sometimes I was just having trouble following stuff with this MacGuffin, which is really cool. I would say the MacGuffin, the thing that drives the plot, is the kind of coolest thing they've done in the Mission Impossible films, but it is quite mental. It'd be interesting maybe to watch it again to decipher that. I really like the villain guy in it as well. I'll just find his name, I have to look at the cast. Apologies. Esai Morales. I have seen him, he's in Ozark. I was trying to remember what character he played in that. But he's really good in it. Kind of like Mission Impossible villains, going along with Sean Harris, Philip Seymour Hoffman. He's kind of more mental, he's kind of more like the Joker in a way. He's kind of just wants to watch the world burn. It's quite interesting, Originally, the first Mission Impossible, John Pop was after money, wasn't he, really? I forget Dougray Scott, what his motivation was. There was some virus, but it was something. But they've got kind of more just kind of mental, which I think is pretty cool. And that's giving a harder edge to the films, and because of McQuarrie's direction as well. I think McQuarrie's kind of a quite 70s influenced. I think he's got a hard-boiled element to his style. If you look at Jack Reacher, I forget what his debut film was called, with Ryan Reynolds, Stroking Aces, was it that? I could be wrong, Smoking Aces, but that was kind of, quite hard edge. So I think that comes out in his direction. I think the film series has benefited from this. So I'd say one of the chase sequences in this is maybe the best chase sequence they've done in Mission Impossible films. So you know what to expect. Where would I put this in the cycle of Mission Impossible films? So recently I've rewatched all the films. Some of them I hadn't seen for years. I hadn't seen the second one. I think I saw it the pictures when it came out. I wasn't that keen, and I kind of watched it. Maybe I saw a bit of it later on. So I hadn't seen that for many years. The first one I'd seen quite a lot at the time in the immediate years after, and I hadn't seen that. So the first one is excellent. That's probably like the simplest Mission Impossible film in a way to follow, and it's kind of like a Bond film. You've got bumps. You've got 3 main sequences and 2 adjoining sequences. So that worked really well. De Palma's direction was great on that. Really imaginative. Of course, the Great Bank, the vault sequence, which is kind of pretty cool. So I think that held up really. It was kind of 7.5 out of 10. I think the John Woo directed one I actually kind of enjoyed more than it did at the time. It kind of coughed and spluttered to a 6. If you take it the right way, it's pretty good fun. The third one I kind of enjoyed less than I had. J.J. Abrams kind of did a good job making the franchise more gritty. But I don't know, it was just something about the look and the action wasn't quite as good. J.J. Abrams, he's kind of like blown into a lot of things, but I'd probably give it a 6. Philip Seymour Hoffman was an excellent villain in that. The fourth one, Brad Bird directed that. I don't know what happened to Brad Bird. Did he make that film, Tomorrowland? Obviously came from animated films, but it was really good. A great opening sequence. I forgot about that in the Russian prison. Really good fun. Superb Burj Khalifa sequence. Fun climax. Again, the villain been a bit mental, really, but not very menacing. But that was as easy as 7.5. I'd say, maybe I was kind of duking it out with the first one. Then Rogue Nation, I thought like Macquarie's direction was gritty in that. Great chase sequences, Rebecca Ferguson, excellent. But kind of tailed off. Like the climax of that was quite kind of straight in a way. Just sort of a London set thing. So I'd give that a 6. And then Fallout, I'm on record as saying I think that's maybe the best action film of the 21st century. I mean, maybe something like The Raid would be another one. But I'd probably give Fallout a 9 out of 10. Superb casting. Cavill really brings something to that. Mark out of 10 for that was 9. So my mark out of 10 for this one, I'm giving it a kind of I'm giving it an 8 out of 10 with caveats, and I think that's like, if I watched it again, I'd probably enjoy the action, and hopefully I'll follow it a little better with this MacGuffin. And I also think how the second part plays out would kind of might dictate how I perceive this. So, I still think ranking the Mission Impossible films, I would rank Fallout top. This one is probably duking out in second place with the first Mission Impossible and Ghost Protocol. It's in that sort of area to me. But it could be better, it might be a bit less. I would probably put Rogue Nation after those, then Mission Impossible 3, then still Mission Impossible 2, my least favourite one. But a really strong franchise that goes from strength to strength and has places to go. Okay, so that's my review of Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning. You're not going to be disappointed, even if you don't like it as much as Fallout. Or maybe, there's other Mission Impossible films where you're like, I thought that was better. It still delivers that entertainment. This is a very secure, Cruise has done a brilliant job of keeping this franchise going and guaranteeing that it doesn't slip below level the way other franchises have, like Indiana Jones or James Bond, when they've, dropped the ball. You can look at other ones, Marvel and so on. Loads of franchises have dropped the ball. I don't think Mission Impossible ever has. It's dipped. It's had wobbly bits within films, but it remains consistent level. Sorry, in its action storytelling that always, to me, makes sure that the audience comes away wanting more. And Dead Reckoning definitely does that. Okay, so remember, share and subscribe. Hope you enjoyed this review, and I'll see you again soon. Cheers. Thanks very much.